Good day, grade 5. Welcome to our science class. I am Teacher Joey, your virtual teacher for today. Today class, we will travel to another lesson in science. I know and I am sure that you are all excited for another fun-filled learning activities for today. So let us now begin. But wait class, before we start our discussion, try to find a nice and comfortable place inside your home where you can focus with your lesson. I want you to prepare yourself as well as your materials necessary for your study. Kindly bring out your pen and paper so that you could jot down some important notes needed for your learning. Always remember class that having knowledge is having a power. Our topic for today is about classification of living things in plants, Quarter 2, Week 4. Learning competency. The learners use a table to show how living things can be classified into groups based on similar characteristics. A. Plants including flowering and non-flowering. Day 1. We will have our short review with regards to plant. This is plant characteristics bingo. So you will be playing plant characteristics bingo to review what you have learned about plants. Call out different characteristics of plants one by one, and students should mark off those characteristics on their bingo cards. The first students to mark off a full row horizontally, vertically, or even diagonally should call out bingo to win that round. Are you ready to play bingo? Okay, let's now begin. So we have here column of bingo. So I have here a questions. Number 1 questions. It produces oxygen. Can be categorized as a flowering or non-flowering plants. Absorbs water and nutrients from the soil. Needs sunlight for energy. And the last one is reproduces sexually or asexually. So based on this column, which do you think is the answer? I will give you 5 minutes to do this one. Okay, so let's now begin answering. It produces oxygen, that is plants. Next one, can be categorized as a flowering or non-flowering plant, that is Angiosperm. Next, we have absorbs water and nutrients from the soil, that is roots. And then needs sunlight for energy, that is photosynthesis. And then the last one, produces sexually or asexually, that is flowering plants. I have here assorted seeds. This is representing both types of plants, including sunflower seeds, beans, pine nuts, and peas. So from these seeds, you will work in small groups to carefully observe and categorize the seeds into 2 groups. We have Angiosperms and Gymnosperms. So as you sort the seeds, you will be prompted to identify any distinguishing features or patterns that can really help you classify the seeds accurately. I will give you 10 minutes to do this. So let's check your answer. So sunflower seed belongs to Angiosperm, and then beans belongs to Angiosperm again, and then we have pine seeds we have in the Gymnosperms, and peas under Angiosperm. So this time, let's now proceed in classifying plants. We will classify them whether they are Angiosperms and Gymnosperms. So we have here flowering trees, shrubs, conifers, and cycads. So you are going to classify them whether they are in Angiosperms or Gymnosperm. Giving you 10 minutes to do this one. So let's now check your answer. So we have flowering tree. Flowering tree is belong to Angiosperms. Next, the shrubs plant belongs to Angiosperms. Next, we have the conifers, that is, yes, in the Gymnosperms. And cichlids is also in Gymnosperms. Unlocking content area vocabulary. We have a step-by-step instruction. Number 1, divide the class into 2 teams and have them form lines facing the front of the classroom. You will be participating in a vocabulary relay race to review important terms related to Angiosperms and Gymnosperms. Next, place the flashcards with the vocabulary terms at the front of the room. Equistand from both teams. When you say go, the first student from each team will run to the vocabulary cards, grab one card, and run back to their team. Next, once back with their team, the students will quickly read the vocabulary term aloud to their teammates. Their team must then shout out the definition of the term before the other team. The first team to correctly shout out the definition scores a point. The students who retrieve the flashcard then places it in the designated area for correct answer. After each round, rotate the students so that everyone gets a chance to participate in the relay. Set a timer for 10 minutes and continue the relay until time runs out. At the end of the activity, tally up the points to determine the winning team. Subtopic number 1. Characteristics of Angiosperm and Gymnosperm. Explicitation. Plant part sort challenge. Materials needed in this activity. Assorted leaves, fruits, or flowers, representing both Angiosperms and Gymnosperms. Large sorting trays or containers. Magnifying glasses, that is optional, and a timer or stopwatch. Instructions. Divide the class into small groups and provide each group with a selection of assorted leaves, fruits, or flowers representing both Angiosperms and Gymnosperms. Make sure to include the variety of plant parts with different shapes, sizes, and textures. Number 2. Challenge the students to sort the plant parts into 2 categories, Angiosperms and Gymnosperms. They should base their classifications on the observable characteristic of the plant's parts, such as the presence of seeds, arrangement of veins, type of fruit or flower structure. Number 3. Use magnifying glasses to closely examine the plant parts and discuss their observations within their groups. Number 4. Once the time is up, gather the groups together and have each group present their classifications. As they present, ask students to explain the reason behind their categorizations and describe any notable characteristics they observe. So there is what you call the guide or classification key in doing this activity. We have the plant part, the seed, the leaf, the fruit, and the flower. And then what's their classification? It's either in Angiosperm or Gymnosperm in terms of their seed, their leaf, their fruit, and their flower. So let's now proceed to day 2. In this lesson, you will learn about the diversity of plant life, including 2 main groups, the Angiosperms and the Gymnosperms. And the characteristics of these plant groups is really essential for appreciating the variety of flora found in the Philippines. I have here an envelope containing the following characteristics and examples of Angiosperms and Gymnosperms. Then we will classify them whether they are in Angiosperm or Gymnosperms. Angiosperms in terms of flowering plants. Angiosperms are flowering plants that produce seeds and close within a fruit. These plants exhibit various adaptations for reproduction and survival. Example of this are mango trees, Its scientific name is Mangifera indica. Mango trees are widespread in the Philippines, known for their delicious fruits. They are angiosperms characterized by their showy flowers and fleshy fruits containing seeds. The flowers attract pollinators like bees and butterflies, aiding in successful reproduction. Its broad leaves. Most angiosperms have broad leaves with a network of veins. These leaves play a crucial role in photosynthesis and transpiration. Example, the banaba, or its scientific name is Lagerstroemia speciosa. Banaba trees are native to the Philippines and are valued for their medicinal properties. They have broad, lanceolate leaves with prominent veins. The leaves are used in traditional medicine to manage diabetes and other ailments. Next, let's now proceed to gymnosperms. These are non-flowering plants. Gymnosperms are non-flowering plants that produce seeds exposed on the surface of cones or scales. They often have needle-like or scale-like leaves. Example, pine trees. Its scientific name is Pinus stipea. Pine trees are commonly found in mountainous regions of the Philippines. They are gymnosperms characterized by their needle-like leaves and cones. Pine cones contain seeds that are dispersed by wind or animals. Let's now proceed to their characteristics, which is cone-bearing structures. Gymnosperms reproduce through cones or cone-like structures that contain seeds. These cones protect the seeds and aid in their dispersal. Example, Nara, or its scientific name is Pterocarpus indicus. Nara is the national tree of the Philippines and belongs to the gymnosperm group. It produces large, woody pods containing seeds. The seeds are dispersed when the pods split open, releasing them onto the ground. Activity number 1, Botanical Exploration, Discovering Angiosperms and Gymnosperms. Materials needed: field guide or worksheet with pictures of angiosperms and gymnosperms, notebook or paper, pencils or pens. Instruction: walk around the school grounds or nearby park with your group. Use the field guide or worksheet provided to identify and classify angiosperms and gymnosperms. Take notes in your notebook or on a piece of paper about the characteristics you observe. Pay attention to details such as leaf shapes, flower structures, and presence of cones. Guide questions. Number 1. What types of leaves do you see? Are they broad or flat or needle-like? Number 2. Do you notice any flowers or fruits on the plants? If so, what colors and shapes are they? Number 3. Are there any cone-like structures present on the plants? If yes, describe their size and appearance. Synthesis. Angiosperms are flowering plants with seeds enclosed within fruits, while gymnosperms are non-flowering plants with seeds exposed on cones or scales. Angiosperms often have broad leaves and showy flowers, while gymnosperms typically have needle-like leaves and cones. How do the unique features of angiosperms and gymnosperms, such as their different ways of reproducing and the shapes of their leaves and flowers, help them survive and thrive in different environments? Activity number 2. Exploring seed anatomy, a hands-on dissection lab. Materials needed: seeds from various angiosperms, example, beans, peas, and gymnosperms, example, pine nuts, sunflower seeds. Scalpels or small knives for dissection. Next, magnifying glasses or dissecting microscopes. Next, petri dishes or small containers for seed dissection. Next, disposable gloves, that is optional. Seed dissection procedure. Preparation. Put on disposable gloves if desired. Select a seed from either an Angiosperm or Gymnosperm species. Observation. Use a magnifying glass or dissecting microscope to examine the exterior of the seed. Describe its shape, color, and texture. Recording observations. Draw a label, a diagram of the dissected seed in your notebook. Write down any observations about the size, the shape, and texture of its structure. Then, comparison. Repeat steps 1 to 4 with seeds from different Angiosperm and Gymnosperm species. Compare and contrast the internal structures of the seeds. Guide questions. How do the internal structures of Angiosperm seeds differ from those of Gymnosperm seeds? Number 2. What role do the seed coat, cotyledons, embryo, and endosperm play in seeds development and germination? Synthesis. Seeds contain various internal structures essential for plant growth and development. So as you can see in this diagram, we have the seed coat, the embryo, and the store food. Angiosperms seeds typically have two cotyledons and may contain endosperm, while Gymnosperm seeds often lack endosperm and have only one cotyledon. Understanding seed anatomy helps scientists and farmers in plant breeding, conservation, and crop production. How does understanding the internal structure of seeds in Angiosperm and Gymnosperms assist scientists and farmers in improving plant varieties, preserving plant discovery, and growing better crops? Day 3. Activity 3. Seeds galore, exploring plant diversity. Materials needed. Various seeds from Angiosperms and Gymnosperms, just like mango seeds, pine seeds, and bean seeds. Sorting trays or containers, magnifying glasses, worksheet or notebook for recording observations. Introduction. You will be exploring the diverse world of seeds from different plant species. Our goal is to observe and classify seeds based on their characteristics. First part is seed collection. Distribute a variety of seeds to each student or group. Take some time to observe the seeds closely. Use magnifying glasses if available. Record your initial observations in your worksheet or notebook. Next, seed sorting. In your group, sort the seeds into different categories based on their observable characteristics such as shape, size, color, and texture. Use the sorting trays or containers to organize the seeds. Guide questions. What are the similarities and differences between the seeds you are sorting? Number 2. How do the characteristics of the seeds relate to the types of plants they came from? Synthesis. Seeds exhibit a variety of characteristics that help identify the plant species they come from. Seeds can be classified based on observable traits such as size, shape, color, and texture. The activity highlights the diversity of Angiosperms and Gymnosperms and provides insight into their reproductive strategies. How does categorizing seeds based on their observable traits like size, shape, color, and texture help scientists and enthusiasts understand the diversity of flowering plants, which is Angiosperms, and non-flowering plants, which is Gymnosperms, and gain insights into their different ways of reproducing. Subtopic number 2. Plant classification, Angiosperms, and Gymnosperms. Materials needed in this activity: pictures or illustrations of various plants representing Angiosperms and Gymnosperms, large sorting bins or containers labeled Angiosperms and Gymnosperms, stopwatch or timer, and then space for students to move around. Step-by-step instructions. Divide the class into two teams and explain that they will be participating in a plant hunt relay race. To learn about plant classification, specifically focusing on Angiosperms and Gymnosperms. Place pictures or illustrations of various plants around the room, with each plant representing either an Angiosperm or a Gymnosperm. Make sure to include a mix of common plants found in the local environment. When you say go, the first student from each team will race to find a plant picture or illustration and bring it back to their team's sorting bin. Once back with their team, the student will place the plant picture or illustration into the correct sorting bin labeled Angiosperms or Gymnosperms based on their knowledge of plant classification. The next student in line will then race to find another plant picture or illustration, and the relay continues until the plants have been correctly sorted. And then use a stopwatch or timer to track the time taken by each team to complete the relay race. After both teams have completed the relay race, gather the class together and review the classifications made by each team. Discuss any discrepancies and provide clarification on plant classification concepts as needed. Conclude the activity by congratulating both teams on their efforts and highlighting the importance of understanding plant classification, especially in distinguishing between Angiosperms and Gymnosperms. Angiosperms. Angiosperms, also known as flowering plants, are the most diverse group of plants on Earth. They produce seeds enclosed within a fruit and exhibit a wide range of adaptations for survival. Example, mango. Its scientific name is Mammiferia indica. Mango trees are iconic in the Philippines, known for their delicious fruits. They belong to the Angiosperms group and produce flowers with showy petals and fruits containing seeds. Gymnosperms. Gymnosperms are non-flowering plants that produce seeds exposed on the surface of cones or scales. They often have needle-like or scale-like leaves and are adapted to diverse environments. Example, pine in scientific name is Pinus spp. Pine trees are commonly found in mountains regions of the Philippines. They belong to the Gymnosperms group and are characterized by their needle-like leaves and cones containing exposed seeds. An example of a native pine species in the Philippines is the Benguet pine, which is endemic to Luzon and plays a crucial role in the region's ecosystems. Comparisons of key characters. So we have characteristics, flowers and fruits, leaf morphology, and then reproductive structures. So under Angiosperms, the flowers and fruits, they produce flowers and fruits, while Gymnosperms do not produce flowers and have seeds exposed on cones. Next category is leaf morphology. In Angiosperms, they typically have broad leaves with veins, while in Gymnosperms often have needle-like or scale-like leaves. Next characteristics is reproductive structures. Angiosperms have ovaries that enclose seeds, while Gymnosperms have cones or scales that protect seeds. Next, ecological significance. In angiosperms play a vital role in ecosystem as food sources for animals and humans, providers of oxygen and contributors to soil stability, while in gymnosperms are important for their timber resin and medicinal properties, contributing to biodiversity and ecosystem services. In terms of Philippine biodiversity and conservation, the Philippines is home to rich diversity of plants species including many endemic angiosperms and gymnosperms. Conservation efforts are crucial to protect the unique flora of the Philippines, safeguarding habitats and promoting sustainable land management practices. Activity number 4. Exploring plant diversity, classifying angiosperm and gymnosperms. Materials needed: various plant specimens, both angiosperms and gymnosperms, magnifying glasses, and classification chart or table, then worksheet or notebook for recording observations. This time, you will be exploring the diverse world of plants and learning how to classify them into two major groups, angiosperms and gymnosperms. Plant specimen observation. Number 1. Examine each plant specimen provided by the teacher. Observe the features such as the flower, the fruits, leaves, and seeds carefully. Use magnifying glasses if necessary to examine finer details. Then record your observations in the worksheet or notebook. Guide questions. What are the distinguishing features of each plant specimen? Number 2. Guide questions. How do the characteristics of the specimens differ between angiosperms and gymnosperms? Classification process. Refer to the classification chart or table. Classify each plant specimen as either an angiosperm or gymnosperm based on your observations, and then collaborate with your peers to discuss and verify your classifications, and then record your classification in the worksheet or in your notebook. Guide questions. Did you encounter any challenges while classifying the specimens? How did you overcome them? Synthesis. Plants can be classified into two major groups, angiosperms and gymnosperms, based on observable characteristics such as flowers, fruits, leaves, and seeds. Angiosperms are flowering plants with seeds enclosed within fruits, while gymnosperms are non-flowering plants with seeds exposed on cones or scales. Classification helps us understand the diversity of plant life and the unique features of different plant groups. Day 4. Activity number 5. Plant key creators unrevealing plant diversity. Materials needed: drawing materials, paper markers, and colored pencils. Reference materials or examples of plant classification keys. So first is you need to brainstorm. In your group, discuss the distinguishing characteristics of angiosperms and gymnosperms based on your knowledge and the reference materials provided. Consider features such as flower structure, leaf shape, and then seed arrangement. Guide question. What are some key differences between angiosperms and gymnosperms? Number 2. Guide questions. How can we represent these differences visually in our classification key? Next is sketching. Using drawing materials, sketch or illustrate examples of each characteristic you listed in the brainstorming part. Then create clear and detailed drawings that clearly represent the features of angiosperms and gymnosperms. Make sure your illustrations are easily recognizable and distinguishable. Guide question. How can we best represent flower structures and leaf shapes in our drawings? Number 2 guide questions. What details should we include to accurately depict seed arrangements? And then key creation. Organize your sketches into a logical sequence to create your plant classification key. Include labels and description for each characteristics to guide users through the key. Make sure your key is clear, easy to follow, and accurately distinguishes between Angiosperms and Gymnosperms. Guide questions. What should be the first characteristic in our key and how should we proceed from there? Number 2 guide questions. How can we ensure that our key is user-friendly and informative? Synthesis. Plant classification keys are useful tools for identifying and categorizing different plant species based on their characteristics. Angiosperms and Gymnosperms have distinct features that can be illustrated and used to create effective classification keys. Clear and accurate illustrations are essential for creating informative plant classification keys. Question. How can clear and accurate illustrations of the distinct features of Angiosperms and Gymnosperms aid in the creation of effective plant classification keys? And how do these keys help scientists and botanists identify and categorize different plant species? Activity 6. Plant Explorer Challenge. Test your plant classification skills. Materials needed in this activity: flashcard with images of various plant species, including Angiosperms and Gymnosperms, game board or chart with categories for Angiosperms and Gymnosperms, and then timer. Introduction. Today we will embark on an exciting adventure to test our plant classification skills through an interactive game. Our goal here is to correctly classify plant species into Angiosperms and Gymnosperms. Let's dive in. Game rules and instructions. Divide the class into 2 teams, Team Angiosperm and Team Gymnosperm. Set up the game board on chart with categories for Angiosperms and Gymnosperms. Shuffle the flashcards with images of various plant species. Show a flashcard to the first team. Each team will take turns identify whether the plant species belongs to the Angiosperm or Gymnosperm category. If the team answers correctly, they earn a point. If not, the opposing team has the opportunity to steal the point by providing the correct classification. Continue playing until all flashcards have been used or until the designated time frame is reached. Tally the points to determine the winning team. Guide questions. What characteristics distinguish Angiosperms from Gymnosperms? Number 2. How can you identify whether a plant species is an Angiosperm or Gymnosperm? Synthesis. Plant classification involves distinguishing between Angiosperms, which is flowering plants, and Gymnosperms, which is non-flowering plants. Characteristics such as flower, structure, leaf morphology, and seed arrangement can help classify plants into these categories. Collaborative learning through interactive games enhances understanding and retention of key concepts. Question. How can interactive games that involve identifying flower structures, leaf shapes, and seed arrangement help students collaborate and deepen their understanding of plant classification, specifically distinguishing between Angiosperms and Gymnosperms? Day 5. Learners' takeaway. Compare and contrast 2 different types of plants, Angiosperms and Gymnosperms, by listing their similarities and differences in the appropriate sections of the diagram. So we have here a Venn diagram. What its similarities and what's its differences under Gymnosperms and Gymnosperms. So in Angiosperms, we have flowering plants while in Gymnosperms, non-flowering plants. Next, in Angiosperm, enclosed seeds, while in Gymnosperms, exposed naked seeds. In Angiosperms, it possesses ovaries with flowers that can be unisexual or bisexual, while in Gymnosperm, it possesses cones, scales, or specialized leaves, generally unisexual. So, their similarities are the following. We have seed-bearing plants, we have kingdom plantae, and vascular plants. Reflection on learning. Reflect silently on what you have learned about the classification of plants during the lesson. Number 2, on a piece of paper or a notebook, jot down your reflections. Then consider the following questions. What are some key concepts you've learned about plant classification? And then how do scientists classify plants into different groups? Why is it important to understand how plants are classified? Number 4, did anything surprise you or challenge your understanding during the lesson? Number 5, what questions do you still have about plant classifications? So for now, I think you are now ready for your formative assessment. Good luck!